Okay, welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Uh, all right, so I just got back from an advanced follow-up retreat with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And so we thought we would pop in today and talk about, so I could share some of the things that he was teaching us this weekend. Maybe some insights will
Yes,
come out.
please.
And
Yeah,
then
and I
we'll
might have
just,
questions.
yeah, we'll just see where it all takes us.
And I feel like after you do something like that, like so intense for a number of days, it's like being able to talk about it is just a great way to help integrate more of your experience and be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. This happened. And yeah, so I'm just curious how it went for you and how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, no, that's such a good point because I do feel like there's been so many breath work circles where I've shared after breathing, not even really sure what I was going to share. And then
Mm.
as I'm talking, something else comes into my mind where I realize, oh, I forgot about that vision or that insight, or I realize this is something I want to release, or a thought that I'm having that's not really serving me, or even someone else will share and it will trigger something, and I'll realize,
Gosh,
oh,
yeah.
I had something similar to that, or that reminds me of something that happened in my journey. So I'm glad you
Mm,
brought that in because it does kind of feel like a really good way to anchor
yeah,
and integrate after such a big experience.
it's so intense. Yeah, it's so good. And maybe like I don't know for anybody who's not familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza, I mean, we can't really like go into everything about him, but he's incredible. But maybe I'm curious, like, what was kind of like the outline syllabus of the day? Like, I don't, those aren't really the words I want, but like,
Yes. So
how did it go day to day?
there was a theme. So there
Oh,
was
okay.
a theme, and the theme of this follow-up was resonance.
Ooh,
And yeah,
I love that word. I love
yeah.
that word.
And so he talked a lot about energetic resonance. And for anyone who's maybe done like a sound bath, you
Mm,
know that when you go to a sound bath and the healer is playing these particular tones, we're all what percent water? Like 70,
70%.
yeah, about 70% water. So when we um, surround ourselves, infuse ourselves with these vibrational tones, it shifts our field
Mm,
on the inside and all around us. One of the
hmm.
things he talked about this weekend was that we are aware of about 1% of what's going on,
It's wild. That's so
which
wild.
is so wild.
That's so mind blowing. 1%. 1%.
Yeah, and then we focus like 95% of our attention on that 1%. And that's
For
the thing
sure.
that we make the most real in our
Hmm.
lives.
Mm. Reality is our 1%. Like, what?
Yeah.
Our reality, our perception of it.
Yeah. So coming into resonance, which is, I guess, a way of saying like raising our energy, raising our vibrational field. When you look at um, like the work of Dr. Emoto, who did all the water
Yeah.
experiments, and the crystalline forms that they could see in water when they put something like love on a bottle of water, or peace, or they spoke beautiful words to the water each
Mm.
day, and then looked at the crystalline structures of the water, and they were beautiful and symmetrical and looked
Yeah.
like these gorgeous snowflakes. And if they did the opposite and put, yeah,
I
good
love you,
time,
water.
just
I'm like, wait, hold on. As you're talking about this, I want to hold my water
in
and
case
I
you're
just want
just
to love it.
listening.
I want to love it so much so that I drink in all that beautiful crystalline water and love.
Yeah, so what a beautiful practice to just
It
take your glass
is.
of water before you drink it and just send an energy of love or peace or whatever you're wanting to really call into your experience.
Health, healing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then drink that.
Hmm.
Mm.
Drinking love, drinking that vibration. And it's
Yeah.
like, it feels good. Like I've done it before too. I have these beautiful blue glasses. Sorry to go on a tangent here, but it came in, it was like, it came, a certain like traditional Chinese medicine, like powder blend came in it. And I was like, these are really beautiful glasses. They're just like this, like beautiful blue. And I was like, sometimes I just fill it with water and I say a little prayer or intention and then I just drink it. And I'm like, there's something so like beautiful and ceremonial about it. It feels really good. So just wanted to share that because it popped into my head.
Yeah, it is. It's just so many beautiful ways to tap into that energy.
Hmm.
So, yeah, we were talking about how, as a group there at the Advanced Follow-Up, we could all be in community together, raising our vibration. And he talked about, if someone near you is having a really powerful mystical experience, just know that, that could raise your field enough to move into a mystical experience as well, just
Wow.
by being in the field of that person.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how powerful to be around that many people that are all having that same intention to just like raise everything up. Like, whew, I can't wait. I can't wait to go to one.
Yeah. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And so, going back to that idea of the 1% versus the 99%, a lot of us try and change our experience. And by that, I mean things like, I want to make more money. I want to be in a relationship. I want new uplifting friendships. I want to move to a bigger house. What those types of physical
Hmm.
manifestations that a lot of us, when we want to make changes in our lives, we focus on doing it from that 1% of
Mm,
seen, which
wow.
Dr.
Yeah.
Joe refers to as matter to matter. So when you're working matter to matter, you are saying, like, okay, I want a raise. Well, I just got a review at my job a month ago, and I won't get a review for another 11 months. So, in the next 11 months, I need to figure out how to up my productivity. So, maybe I'll have to work weekends. And then, then by the 11-month period, I can show them that I've made the company this much more money. And so you're thinking, like, it's going to take this amount of time and this amount of
Hmm.
work, and I only have so many hours in a day, so I'll probably have to do more hours. That's matter to
Yeah.
matter.
Which seems so difficult and heavy and like, ugh, can't it
Doesn't
be
feel great.
easier?
Doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't feel great. And so
Yeah.
now you are working really hard towards this goal, but you're having a lot of trade-offs in between of um, time to relax, time with
Yeah.
family, time in nature,
Mm. Probably
things like
leading
that.
towards burnout, you
Yes.
know.
Think about that, what that does to your nervous system.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I could feel it just saying it. I could
I
feel
could too. As you were talking, I was like, oh God, this feels really oof, heavy. Okay. Okay, let's move on.
yeah, let's
Get
go
to the good
to
part.
collapsing the timeline and working in the quantum. So when we spend time creating outside that 1%, we're working in the quantum.
Mm,
And the way he phrases it is that, we imagine what we want. And so we
mhm,
send the signal out to the universe through our thought.
mhm,
We call that experience back to us through the feeling in our heart. So the brain sends the signal out, the heart calls the experience back with the
mm.
feeling.
I love it. Yeah, it feels good. It's like, and then as
Deep
you're doing, sort of
breath.
like seeing that loop that's just like out and then back and then out and then back and
Right. So that
the
doesn't mean
flow.
that we don't take any action. We still take
Right.
action.
Right. We don't just sit like, I really want this and I feel really good. So I'll just be here waiting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Come
sit
on.
on my couch and just wait for that raise to just come back because I call it in through my heart.
Any minute, I'm going to get a phone call saying, I've got a raise.
Right,
Which,
so
hey, anything's possible. That could happen too. But
it totally could, like absolutely, it totally could, and it has. Like lots of people have created like
yeah.
absolutely incredible results.
Yeah.
But I would say as like a starting place,
Yeah.
you still want to show up to work every day.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say so. I would say so.
And
There is still
so,
work.
yeah. And so if you are, let's just stay with this example just for ease.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you're sending out the thought, I want to make more money, and let's just even simplify it. Like I think one of the ways we can limit ourselves is to say, well, I want to make more money, so I need a raise at my job. But really, the desire is to make more money. And
Hmm.
why limit spirit to say that the only way I can make more money is through getting a raise at the job I have right now?
Yep.
We live in an infinite universe.
Infinite. Pure possibility.
Yes.
It's been something I've been playing with a lot the past week is like every single moment we are living in a state of pure potential. Anything can happen in any moment.
I just feel like a buzzing on the top of my head when I hear you say that.
Yes. Yeah. When that like popped into my head the other day, because I was like, I brought it into a breath work that I did. And I was just like, oh, we're living in a state of pure potential in every moment. And it's like, wow, that opens up the door to everything. Yet we want like our mind is just like, nope, here's like what I understand, and this is the pathway. And it's like, no, no, no. Oh, there's so much more. There's so much more.
Yeah, and so you could say, well, I mean, I don't have a college degree and I don't really have any other skills than what I'm doing in my job right now. And so it doesn't really make sense to me that there's any other way I could make money. Like, what could I possibly do?
Mhm.
But when you just think back to the idea that what we see in our known physical
Mm,
world is 1% of what's happening out there. It's a 99% energetic
mm,
world, vibrational world.
but
So if you could just like trust in that, like even 5% more than zero,
yeah,
think of like that's already going to open up huge possibilities for you.
absolutely.
So we go on a lot of tangents, but I
They're
didn't
important ones.
I didn't forget what I was gonna say.
I know. I knew you'd come back to it.
So
We'll get there.
I know, totally. So let's start by saying letting go of how it's going to happen and saying what I really want is to make more money. Or I want even like to say I want more money. Make more money, there's a little bit, that's some work. So I just want more money flowing into my life.
Hmm.
Now we're starting to get to something that, like, if I was to be working through this path, I would say, well, now that's starting to feel good. I want
Mm.
more money to flow into my life. I want more money to flow into my bank account.
I like this. Yeah. I
Yeah.
want more money to flow into my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to see more zeros at the end of the numbers on my bank account. So now you're just sending that thought out. More money flowing into my life. I see more money flowing into my life. Now, how does that make you feel? Like, imagine that's here right now.
My body automatically responded when you said it. I was like, ooh, I want to dance. Like,
Oh, nice. That's a
well,
good
like my body likes to, that's what happens. It's like, I'm like, ooh, I get excited. And I'm like, I need to move. I need to dance a little bit. Like, it's
Yeah,
like,
so I
yes,
see like the way you're moving to me, that's like you feel more energy.
sure.
I feel like it's kind of like tingling, moving across my heart.
Mm.
I actually feel kind of like an expanded feeling across the tops of my arms.
Ooh,
And there's a sense of freedom there.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like there's like this excitement for me that's just
Hmm.
like, ooh, oh, that sounds fun. Ooh, okay.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so we have some good stuff. We have freedom, energy, fun,
Expansive.
excitement. What?
Expansive.
Expansive.
Expansive. Hmm.
Yeah. So that's the feeling you hold in your heart.
Mm, yeah.
So we're sending the thought out, more money flowing into my life, feeling excited, expansive, energy, fun. Yeah, I love that stretch.
I always find myself too, like when I'm thinking of these things that I want and I'm really getting into the feeling, I want to laugh. Like I'm just like, oh yeah. Like it just
Yeah.
feels so fun that I'm just like, it makes me want to laugh because I'm just like, oh yeah, yes.
Yes. Yeah. So that is like a great, it's like that's the basic formula
Mm,
that Dr. Joe gives for manifestation. I know that there are so many out there, and we're going to share as much as we can with you. But
yeah.
for this, that's really, and I think that's the core of a lot of this manifestation work.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Is like
So
that's the formula he uses. That's the formula most others, use. That is the formula. That is
yeah,
the law of attraction. That's
beyond that, it's languaging and
yeah.
technique, but
Yeah, there's different tools that people, you can utilize. And I think that people resonate with different tools a little bit more. They're like, this way feels a little bit easier for me to grasp this way, whatever. But I think what I love about Dr. Joe is that like he really goes into the science of it, literally, he's like, let me teach you quantum physics
yes.
and makes sense of why and how it works. And it's like, okay, I have a deeper understanding of this now. But also, can you say that again and again and again and again and again? Because we're talking about quantum physics. I'm gonna I'm gonna need to grasp that again.
But that's exactly what he said this last weekend was you've got to know the why and the how.
Yeah,
If you're doing the work and you don't understand the why and the how, it's just not going to land in the same way. There's
for
something
sure.
about having that deeper understanding of the structure of what you're doing and
Hmm.
having the intention so clear and understanding like why this works that that just really ups the success rate.
Yeah, and it's not like, if somebody doesn't understand how it works, it's not like it won't work for them, but like you're saying, it ups the success rate. Like when you have a deeper understanding, you're like, "Oh, okay. This makes total sense. Like I can really run with this now." Or I can look at where I might be like, having a hiccup in this and be like, "Oh, then maybe that's why," because you just have a deeper understanding of it. And I know we were talking recently too about, I don't know why this popped in my head though, like about that feeling, because we were talking about how you can have an affirmation and just like say it like I have more money. But if you don't feel anything and you're not coming into how it feels to have more money, then you're just saying words. And it's kind of like it's not
Yeah.
really doing much for you. I mean, it's a step. It's a great step, but there's so much more.
Yeah. That's that's one of the things I noticed about myself in the past.
Mm,
Um, when I was kind of first learning about,
yeah.
the law of attraction and manifestation, and I would, for lack of a better word, I would get confused because I would be like, okay, I'm, imagining myself having more money. I have all this money and all this abundance, but I don't have it. So how
Yeah.
am I supposed to feel like I have it? Because I don't have it.
Yeah.
I just didn't really know how to make that leap from understanding that I just need to call in that feeling
Hmm.
and then stay in the feeling, not necessarily because you're not going to like then all of a sudden go to Rodeo Drive and buy a $5,000 handbag. So it's like, well, I feel like I'm a millionaire now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can feel excitement, you can feel that freedom, that
Yeah.
joy, and you just feel like, if I were to, be able to just go do something like that, like that's a little bit materialistic, but
That's a good example though. Like it makes
but it's
sense.
one of the ways that I think the law of attraction got explained in the beginning,
Sure. Yeah.
especially, um, I don't want to
Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. But it's okay.
I don't want to talk bad about any of the teachings that have come before because it was
No, because I still really love a lot of those
yeah,
teachings
and it
for
was
sure.
all a journey to understanding, so every starting place is a beautiful
Right.
place.
If we talk about what law of attraction was in the 1980s compared to what it is here in 2022, whew, we've
We
come
have
a long
two
way.
different, yeah,
Yeah.
completely.
But those principles still apply.
Yes.
We've gained a greater understanding of how it
Yeah.
works.
I
And
can just say for
yeah.
myself, there was there was a gap in kind of understanding
Same.
like the technical process, if you want to call it a technical process.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people have probably done the same, because I also did too. I'm like, well, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about what I want. Like I'm visualizing where is it? But there's that question, where is it? Is the vibration of lack.
Right.
And
I don't
it's
have it.
yeah, oh, where is it? I don't have it. Then I think too, like what with Dr. Joe, it's like that whole process that he teaches around and other teachers too around getting into that feeling state is that like you're getting closer to the reality of it because now you're instead of it being an idea, now your body's involved in it too. So it's in your mind, but now it's in your body. And now it's like, wait a minute, this is how it feels to experience that. And like that draws it in closer and closer and closer because you're priming, your reality, your mind, your body for that actually happening.
And that's what it moves when you hold those feelings with the thought, it moves you into the resonance
Mm,
of that which you're calling into your life.
yeah.
You're creating that field of resonance within you and around you before you have the thing. But once you're a resonant match, that's when you collapse time and you're no longer working matter to matter in this like, well, I have to do this step and then I have to do this step and then I have to do this step and then I'll see, where I am in the process and then
Mhm.
reset all my physical goals and then keep
Mm,
working. Whereas when you're doing this work and you're able to like create that energetic field around you of that which you're calling in, it can't help but be drawn towards you and be with you in your field at that moment.
mhm. And that I think opens up, the different opportunities that we couldn't see with our limited mind to start flowing in, and we're like, "Oh, I didn't realize it could come that way." Or
Ex-
like, "Oh, and
yeah.
now I have this other opportunity that I never saw before," and that fits in pretty well with where I'm trying to go. Like, "All right, I'll say yes to that." So, as we were saying, like, of course, like, the physical still plays a role in it. We're physical beings and these human bodies here on Earth, but we can utilize the quantum and the energetic fields more than we do
Yes.
in a big way.
Yes. And hopefully start doing it all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Training our
know?
minds for that
Yeah, that's
in our
where,
body.
a daily practice comes in,
Mhm.
and really, working on our vibrational, our energetic essence, that resonance so that um, we're starting to notice outside of breath work or meditation or whatever practice you're involved in, because there's so many beautiful
So
practices.
many, yeah.
But it's very common to step into this gorgeous space of light and love and gratitude,
Yep.
and then open your eyes and just go
Right,
back to your day
right,
and just be
right,
like, all right, I'm already running late. I gotta
right,
just like grab a power bar and run out the door and traffic, and
right.
totally disconnecting.
Yeah, all of it.
Like a daily practice is meant to inform the rest of your day
Yeah,
so that
yeah,
you start and you anchor that feeling and then you stay aware, you stay awake.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you
That's so
notice
key.
through your day, like w- you start to notice when you're moving out of that state
Yeah,
as opposed to that state being the anomaly. You hold that state and then when you start to move out of it, you say, "Oh, what am I telling myself that's taken me out of that beautiful, peaceful, grateful state I
mm,
was in?" And
yeah,
this is the work. This is like a
yeah.
beautiful way. So now all of a sudden we're like, "Oh, I was actually telling myself there's never enough time." Gosh, how often do I say that to myself?
Right, right.
Ooh, that's one I want to be really conscious of. When I catch myself thinking there's never enough time, I want to replace that with something new. Time is infinite, or I always have enough time for the things that are the most important to me.
Yeah, start
That
shifting that.
feels really far away. You could even start with, um, I'm I'm willing to allow an experience of more time.
Oh, yeah, that's such a great step. That's such a great step because yeah, some people are like really stuck in a belief and totally shifting is like I can't even begin to believe that because it's so different from what I have been believing. So it's like I think it's a really important thing to mention is that like you can take baby steps with it and be like what is the next best thought that feels like you can move into. And like
Yeah. So
yeah,
it
this
might
work,
just be, I'm willing to see this differently.
I love that. I'm willing to see it differently. That's like that's so powerful because it shows like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to make a change.
Yeah.
And like,
You're sticking your foot in the door.
yeah. And everybody's at a different place with it too. It's like it can be overwhelming, especially if you see somebody who's like, oh, I just manifested the most perfect dream life and it was so easy. And someone's like, oh, really? Okay, well, I could never do that. And like that might be their mindset. So it's like, okay, let's not go from 0 to 100 with you. Like what, let's work with like the next step for you to start shifting your mood and your vibration and how you feel about all of this. And that it's like it is a daily, hourly, minute to minute, second to second practice that we're never, no, I don't want to say never. That's so, it's like we're always working on, it, and there's going to be some days where it's like, yeah, oh man, it's so easy for me today to like stay in this high vibration. And then there's going to be other days where like, wow, I am really stuck in this mood and this mindset, and it's a challenge. And we have to honor ourselves for each of those moments and be like, it's okay. Like
Definitely.
bring
Yeah.
in that compassion for ourselves and that love for ourselves, because it is a process and it is a practice. And I think the key, what you were getting at too, is like it's so much about self-awareness all the time, and just monitoring in a sense, or just being aware of like,
Yeah, it's a gentle awareness. So we're not
yeah,
like becoming our own school principal, like
no,
lording over ourselves all the time. Like, oh, there was a bad thought. Oh, you're in a
can't think
bad
that,
mood.
can't think that. No, because that doesn't feel good either. That's so like disciplinary. And I think so much about this really is about being loving, being compassionate, like loving ourselves like we would love a little child or a little puppy or something like that's innocent, and just be like, oh, I see that this is a difficult day for you and I'm going to love you through that anyway. And we're going to take what steps we can today and just be aware and see what we can do right now. And I think so many people are so hard on themselves. You know, I'm working on that one. I've been working on that one. I've made some progress, which is really amazing. And it feels really good to come out of some of those states of mind where I have been really hard on myself and just love myself and be like, wow, you're incredible. You're amazing. I love you. Like that's huge.
It is huge. It's so huge. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like daily practice, but being loving, being gentle, being compassionate with ourselves through all of it.
Yeah, anytime you start to approach a healing journey or a spiritual journey with like a disciplinarian kind of mindset,
Yeah.
it's so first old school.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we've all had enough of that. I mean, most of us have been in school in some form or in a
Yeah.
job in some form where we felt really confined in the way we can behave or express ourselves. And I
Or
just
even
feel
just
like,
as a child with the way a
yeah,
parent raised
yeah,
you. Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like we've had that experience. So let's try a new one.
Let's try something else. Try something new.
Yeah,
See how that feels.
yeah. That was when you were talking, it reminded me of something I did this weekend when one of the meditations that Dr. Joe takes us through is the blessing of the energy centers,
Mm,
which people may know as chakras, but he refers to them as energy centers, which I actually love.
yeah.
Um, and so he was having us send love into each energy center. And
Mm.
for some reason, I just in that moment wasn't totally feeling it. And so I started imagining a puppy in every energy center.
Oh, I love that.
And I was just like, that was my exact reaction. As soon as I saw a puppy in each energy center, I was like, oh.
I'm like excited thinking about it.
And I just like dropped into love. It was so
Mm.
sweet and it was just it was I have never done that before. It was like a brand new little inspiration that came to me
Mm.
And I can feel like so much love just talking about it because I just
Aw.
love puppies so much.
I know. Oh, it's such a great way to do that.
And it got me out of whatever thought pattern I was in that was telling me, this is hard, or I don't know
Mm.
how to connect in this way, or I'm just not feeling it in this moment. It just like all that stuff just disappeared when I was like, puppies. And then
Oh,
I
that's so
felt that
good.
love just spreading through my body and my field as
Mm.
I gave myself like just a pathway to love.
Yeah. Thinking of that like innocent being of sorts that like there's no resistance there. It's just like, oh, this innocent, like beautiful creature.
Yeah.
Puppies, like they're just so sweet. I love that. I'm definitely gonna use that sometime when I'm, maybe
Yeah.
feeling like stuck or the resistance or even angry. Gosh, if you're angry and then you think of like a cute little puppy, like that's gonna bring it down a little bit at least. Like, oh, I mean, right. Anytime I see if I'm walking and I see a puppy, I'm automatically like, oh, ooh, hi. I can't help it.
Totally. So, yeah,
Oh,
I really, you know, I feel like I just tapped into a moment of just childlike
mm,
playfulness and
mm,
created a new pathway in for myself that just felt, really aligned with something that felt light and playful and loving to me.
mm,
And
yeah.
um, it's just such a gift when I can tap into those little moments, that something different happens and I find
Mm.
a new, path.
Yeah, and I'm sure that being at that event in that space with all those people, it creates more of those opportunities to see things differently or to have different experiences and just like,
That's the resonance that I would guess the whole space was moving into,
yeah,
something more innocent, childlike,
yeah.
playful. If I was tapping into something like that, I have to imagine that it was in the room.
I was actually just thinking that how like I wish I wonder if there would be a way or it would be really cool to find out if anybody else in that moment started thinking about puppies. Because I bet they were. It's
Probably.
like you're all kind of, grabbing something in that quantum field. It's like, it would be so interesting to know,
Yeah,
like,
and it
who
may have
else.
been other people tapping into babies or
Yeah,
kittens or
innocence,
yeah, innocence, something from their childhood
Yeah,
maybe that sparked that. Yeah, it's such an interesting uh, idea. I'm just like idea doesn't even cover the
nah,
resonance of what that feels like for me,
right,
but
right. Oh, that's so cool, though. That's
yeah,
so beautiful. And then you were able to kind of get past that resistance and go into the meditation and
yeah,
really feel it.
yeah,
I want to do that one.
yeah. I'm thinking I'll record that one and create a little puppy meditation.
Oh, yeah, good idea.
Yeah, for
What
our community.
was that, Oscar?
I said for our community.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, puppy meditation. I want to do that for sure. Well, that's the thing, like, with the meditations, and I've been telling you, it's like I've been creating all of these like short ones for me that are like, some are like 5 minutes, some are 10 minutes, and kind of on different topics. I have a few that are like general manifesting, raising my vibration. One's kind of just like about health in my body, one's about like a soulmate. I want to do one on money, but it's like they are these short meditations and I could do anytime in my day where maybe I feel a shift in my energy or I'm like really irritated right now or or whatever. And after I feel the feeling and it moves, if I'm like, okay, I'm ready to shift this, that just helps me to like just put on my headphones, put on, one of those meditations. And I'm not like sat down, like, in this like deep meditative state. I'm like up and I'm walking and I'm just like arms out and I'm like, yes. And I'm smiling, and it's energetic kind of meditation, and it
Yes.
makes me feel so good. And I'm just like, yes. And I've been starting my day with these. And I'm like, I love starting my day like this. This is incredible. I feel so good. And I can always throughout the day just be like, you know what? I'm going to listen to another one. I'm going to listen to another one. And I feel like
Yes.
that's just really raising my vibration. And actually, when I first started doing it, I would go out for walks. I go out for walks a lot, and I would just notice people were like complimenting me, or somebody like rode by me on a bike and turned around and said, "You're beautiful." And I was like, "What? Thanks." Like, and then some woman like rode her bike up behind me. I had my hair in a French braid, and she was like, "Your braid is so pretty. I love all the colors in that." And another time somebody rode past me as I was running, and she's like something like, "You go, girl," or something. And I was like, this was like separate days,
Yeah.
but I was still like, okay, all right. I'm we're working with something here.
Yeah, when you notice a shift like that and there's kind of
Yeah,
feedback from the outside
yeah,
world that something's different.
yeah. It's like I'm putting out this like higher vibration, this vibration of love and receiving love and just feeling good. And then I'm like receiving more of that back. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. I think I want to keep doing this and see what else I can create. What
Yeah,
else is possible? That's been like my big question lately. What else is possible?
I love that.
I
That's a
brought that into the breath work on Sunday, and I'm going to bring it into what I'm doing tomorrow. Just like, because as I was saying before, it's like we're living in this state of pure potential. So in every moment, we can ask, what else is possible?
yes.
Especially if you're feeling kind of stuck, or you're like, oh, especially in those moments where it's like, feels like you can't do anything, or it's feeling really challenging, you can always ask that question, what else is possible? And even just asking it starts to create an opening. And you might not know the answer, and that's okay. You don't have to know the answer in that moment, but it's like you're showing this willingness to see another possibility.
Yes.
And that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I want to,
That's good.
before we close, I do want to touch back into one more thing that I kind of skipped over when I was in the beginning talking about the brain sending the signal out and the heart
Yeah.
carrying the experience back.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because we were talking a little bit about this yesterday, and um, to go back to the example, what I used to do when I was wanting something different in my experience is I would send the thought out, and then I would think, yeah, but I don't
Mm,
have it.
mm,
And I would really, there would still, even when I was, doing my best to imagine that I did have it, there was a part of me that was just not accessing that feeling tone. That really what I was feeling was
yeah.
that I don't have it,
Hmm.
but I don't have it.
Yep.
I really want it. I really, really want it. And
Yeah.
that was the dominant feeling. Even if sometimes I could go into the feeling of like, okay, now I'm doing the work and I'm feeling it and I really feel like I have it. And then, I could hold that and stay in it for while I was doing the practice. And then as the I would come out of the practice and in my day, the dominant feeling was, yeah, but I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So what I was drawing back to me through my heart is the sending the signal out through my brain of this thing and calling the feeling back, I don't have it.
Mm-hmm. So resonate with that.
Yeah, and I think I would imagine a lot of people do.
Right, because it's, especially at the beginning, it's hard to, like, it can be difficult to not feel that lack because, like you said, it has been the dominant feeling for so
Yeah,
long. And when you don't have something, it's like, oh, I still don't have that. Like, it's just, we kind of default to the fact that we don't have it because it's what we've been taught. Like, it's what so many of us just do. And it's about shifting that to being like, oh yeah, I'm excited that it's on its way. Ooh,
yeah.
how fun that it's on its way. I can't wait. Like, this feels so good. And what came to me as you were saying that too, and I think I don't remember if I brought it up the other day, but that feeling of lack and moving through that when it's something that you've really wanted for so long and it still hasn't shown up. It's kind of like, okay, that takes, that takes a little bit more care and awareness of being like, if you've for so long focused on the lack of it,
This
it's
is
like,
actually something that Dr. Joe talked about this weekend.
okay. Oh, good.
Yes, because there are people in his community that have healed some very
Yeah.
serious illnesses.
Yeah.
So he was talking this weekend about this woman who healed stage 4 cancer.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
I know.
Wow. That,
So
oh, I have like
incredible. So
chills.
just that, I know, is so incredible. And what she did was committed herself to the practice
Hmm.
and the feeling tone for
Mm.
8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So he said, you know, what it became for her, she didn't come up on stage, but he said, what if you were to speak to her, what it became for her wasn't even about the healing anymore because
Mm.
by doing the work, she was feeling so good
Yeah.
and moving into that feeling of gratitude and joy and energy every single day.
Mm.
Doesn't mean there weren't difficult moments, doesn't
For
mean there
sure.
wasn't still pain or physical
Yeah.
pain or emotional pain, but she stayed with it and she just fell in love with the practice.
Mm.
That's really what this is about. It's about falling in love with the practice. He talked a lot this weekend about falling in love with life.
Mm. Yeah.
This is the job, fall in love with life. So you're going to start with this experience or this thing that you want so much. And maybe it'll manifest right away for some people. Boom, it's there.
Right.
For some people, it's a path, it's a journey.
Yeah.
And so it's noticing like how am I changing along this journey and
Mm.
and no, and like allowing yourself to fall in love with the practice, fall in love with life. And as you do that, this goal at the end starts to melt in importance
Mm.
because you are now experiencing all the feelings that you thought you wouldn't experience until you had that thing.
So true.
Now you're feeling this. You feel free, you feel joy, you feel
Um,
energy,
I love it.
and so if you already feel the way you wanted to feel,
Yeah.
you can now move towards manifesting these things without that grip.
So true.
So, one of the other things he talked about that really just, you have those moments in 4 days, there are so many beautiful concepts and um, ideas and practices that are shared. And I know I didn't catch all of them.
Oh gosh, yeah. How can you?
So, but one that was just like instant memorization,
Yeah.
where it just lands in that
Yeah.
place in your brain that was like, that was the key to that question.
Yeah.
He said, there's this very delicate balance between intention and surrender. And
Hmm.
it's something that, we have to work with and play with. It's not easy because when
Yeah.
you take intention too far, you've moved into trying.
Mm.
When you surrender too much, you give up. So
Yeah.
you don't want to try because trying has that energy of like, I'm trying so hard.
Yeah. I have to have it. I
Yeah. And
Yep.
you're gripping on this outcome.
Yep.
And that's in that space, you've just moved out of this feeling tone.
Yeah, that you're moving into the lack because you're like that clinging, like, "Ugh, because if I cling to it, I won't lose it. It has
Right.
to come to me."
And that's the surrender. So you're not clinging. You're holding the intention and you're surrendering outcome. You're just saying, this is the intention I'm moving towards. In the middle, you're sitting in this beautiful feeling tone, and then you're
Mm.
letting go. And if you let go too much, it's like, oh, forget it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give up. This isn't gonna work.
Mm. It's really beautiful though.
Yeah,
But
so that just, it was like a bell ringing in me. I was like,
for sure.
oh, it was like kind of like a question that was living somewhere in me that maybe I hadn't really, it hadn't come into consciousness with words yet,
Yeah.
but it was kind of like getting a question answered that I didn't know I had.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, like I love is the fact that like I did have that question. You know, so it's like yesterday when we were talking, and then like even now, it's like that was the question. I was like, well, how? 'Cause I think I directly asked that to you, and you're like, oh, perfect. This is what I learned. Like, so I was like, how do we desire and then like let go when you really want something?
Yeah.
And wanted it for years and years and years. And maybe it's just like my limited mind being like thinking that that's going to be a difficult thing because it has been, but it's like, well, what has been doesn't have to be my now. And it is just working with that balance for me. And I'm sure with whatever each thing is that you want, there's going to be a different kind of balance with that. And
Yes.
maybe we can
Yeah.
find the enjoyment in that process.
Yeah.
Just like playing with that and being like, "Oh, how does this feel now? How does this feel
Mhm.
now?"
Yeah, and then you can feel like, ooh, it's feeling like I'm actually not just intending, I've moved into trying. And then you can say, what am I telling myself?
Mhm.
What's the thought there?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because as I feel into it, for me, it kind of feels like, oh, I might have gone into a little disbelief
Mm.
that what I want can actually flow to me easily.
I think
That
that happens for
that
a
I
lot of
have
people.
to, if I really want something, I better put in the work.
Yeah. 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 And again, like it's like, well, that is the work, you know.
Right.
And like
So,
you said before,
right,
like there are still potentially physical things that we do in, to work towards it.
right.
So it's not
But
just like,
when I say put in the work in that voice,
yeah,
it's that grindy, activated nervous system,
blood, sweat, and tears. Ugh. You
blood, sweat,
gotta
and
feel
tears.
the pain to get what you want, or you're not gonna get it. That does not resonate with me at all. I don't
Right.
think it has to be this painful thing to live a joyous life. That makes no sense. That's actually contradictory.
It is, right. So you're trying to create this joyful life of flow and ease and abundance, but it's going to be all pain getting there.
No, because we're not looking for the end product, right? Like, well,
Right.
in a way we are, but the journey is the bigger part.
You can't forget about who you are right now in this moment. This moment
Yeah.
matters. Who you are, how you
Yeah.
feel right now
Right now.
matters.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not worth it. If you lose 5 years of joy to get a thing, like, who says that when you get that thing, all of a sudden this learned pattern of pain is going to
Oof.
disappear and you're going to drop into joy?
Right. Oh, that's so good. Like, oh, it's so true. It's like, oh, 5 years of pain to get this thing that's not even going to guarantee joy when you can guarantee your joy right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Because
we always have
everything
a
you
choice.
do is creating a neural pathway
Yeah.
for what you're experiencing right now.
Yeah. Sorry, my cat is deciding to talk now. He's like, I want to be part of this.
I think he's just agreeing.
Yeah, he's like, you right on. Yes. I mean, I have to say too, it's like even from me doing these meditations I've created, and I've probably been doing them for a few weeks now. I don't remember when I started it, but you're probably gonna hear Saffron meowing outside some more. But I have noticed a shift in the way I view myself and the way I love myself. And I am feeling more of that self love come in with more ease. And it's like, oh, okay. Like I'm practicing this daily and I'm seeing myself shift like as that more automatic part of me. I'm seeing that start to shift. And it's like, whoa, okay, something's like really really working here. I want to keep doing this. And it's like what could my life be like if even for the next 3 months or 6 months I really dedicated myself to these meditations and to feeling good and to being self-aware and yes, feeling the things I need to feel and working through those like I did earlier this week. There was some heavy emotion in me and I was like, I need to be with this. I need to nurture this part of me, and I did, and then moved past that, and then I started seeing all these other possibilities within it and feeling a different way about it, and feeling love for myself within it. And I was just like, wow,
Yeah.
felt so good. I was writing about it today and I was like, okay, this journey is incredible. It's like sometimes it's going to be hard and that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just love ourselves through it.
Yes,
So important.
definitely.
Yeah, the self-love piece, that one's been a journey for me for sure.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really cool.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I've learned over time with that journey is that there's just always more love. We
Yeah.
never get to a place where we're just like, oh, now I'm in self-love. I've reached the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Done. You
I did
just
it.
to expand into more love, more
Mm,
love, more love,
yeah.
giving more love, feeling more love, receiving more love. It's just always expanding, and there's
Mm,
infinite potential to experience and embody more.
yeah. And we are ever changing. So there's always something to shift and then to love some more. And then, yeah, it's never ending, just like you're saying. And I find myself, I wrote something, I don't think I have it near me right now, but I was basically just like, in its essence, it was like no matter what, like my my pathway is always love. No matter what happens, like I came here to learn to love, and it's going to show up in all these different avenues and challenges that come up. And when I'm faced with that challenge, my question is like, okay, can I keep loving through this? And yeah, I can. And that's the journey. That's my practice, is like keep loving, always come back to love, always turn towards love. Do you hear my cat? He's like, yes, love.
Yes.
Meow. So he's agreeing.
Well,
That
since
love piece.
he's in agreement, I feel like this is like a perfect
Yeah,
note to close on today.
I think so.
Mm,
Stefan's like, all right, ladies, that's it. You've
that's
reached
it.
the end of the talk. Yeah, yeah. I hope people can really resonate. Resonance. See, I just love that word.
Resonance.
Resonate, resonance. Like, there's something so good to me about that. But
Yeah.
I hope people can resonate with what we've talked about. I'm sure some people will. And hopefully we can inspire them to raise their vibration as often as they can and be loving as much as they
You
can.
guys are totally feeling it. And we love you so, so much.
So much. So much.
And we'll see you next time.